Welcome to Last Week On. My name is Adam Straughan, and we are back covering Invincible Season 4, Episode 6, You Look Horrible. But before we get into that, I have a returning very special guest. He is the host of Slayerfest 98 and the co-host of My Bloody Judy. Please, everyone, welcome back my friend Ian Carlos Crawford. How you doing, Ian?
Hi. When you were like, you look horrible, I was like, wait, what did I do?
Hold on a second.
I forgot that was also the name of the episode.
You like log off instantly, and I'm like, oh, guess it's just me. Yeah, I know. What a wild ride for the titles of these episodes that we've had this season so far, to be fair, especially But yeah, before we jump into this episode, Ian, obviously episode 5 was like a big episode and kind of like a big welcome back to get on track after like the detour that was episode 4. What were kind of your overall thoughts on that episode? I'm just intrigued because like I really loved it.
Yeah, it's definitely. I was trying to think, like, I think it's my favorite this season so far, and maybe probably one of my favorites. The season finales are always just like so much happening that usually they're my favorites. So I was trying to think of like where this would sit. And if I had to do like a top 5, maybe it probably would be in that. I probably can like confidently say that. I just don't know that it's a favorite, but it might be. I don't know. I thought we did a really good job with all the Nolan stuff. I really liked it, and I'm glad it kind of continues into this episode. We didn't really like, we don't get any Oliver Nolan. This was the Oliver Nolan that Oliver deserved. But I really liked all of this. I was kind of surprised that Mark left Nolan alone with Debbie. Like, I was surprised I thought he was going to be like standing outside because I was like, well, I don't know that I'd want to leave my mom alone with him. Granted, he's proven himself to Mark. It's just, I felt like on Debbie's end, I wouldn't have wanted like my mom to be like, oh, is this guy going to murder me? But that scene made me cry. She was so good. I was really glad she got to say all that to him.
Yes.
I don't know that it really made her feel better, but she deserved to be able to get it out. And man, when she punches him and her like hand like gets all bloody, I was like, oh God.
No, I completely agree. For me, like that was the scene of the episode by far. Like by far. And you're right, like I love no music plays throughout the whole episode. Like there's nothing, and like I loved the way it was shot when like Nolan's like his hesitancy is about to walk away, like her opening the door and her standing in the silhouette and like just taking a moment and then like just walking away, like inviting him in, but also not directly inviting him in. And like her being silent for like the first kind of like 5 minutes of Nolan stumbling through an apology, and then just her being like, you think you're gonna fix everything, Nolan? Like just beating down his bullshit. And I kind of a little bit to the point that you made about Mark not being outside. I think if anything that made Debbie stronger, because like she's almost like, I don't need my superhero like son or anyone. I can stand my ground in this. And like Nolan is one of the most strongest superheroes that we've ever seen, and yet he had no power over Debbie in that moment. Like she was the one with the power, you know?
I guess she kind of knows at least. Not that she forgives him or thinks he's good, but I guess she knows just from at least Mark's, like how Mark got Oliver, that maybe Nolan's like not as genocidal as he had been. Because my first thought was, is she going to be worried that he's going to like kill them all? But I guess like she's confident enough to know that he's not doing that.
Right. Like she's had a conversation with her son, you know, at the end of the day. So like, you're right. Like Mark and her have had conversations being like, hey, so I spoke to my dad. Like, he's not as, he hasn't turned over a new leaf, but he's like peeked at the other side of it kind of thing. But no, that scene, just Sandra Oh win all the awards, like just phenomenal. Like I felt every word that she said in that speech, just, so good. So good.
She's such a good actor that like her voice changes. Like her voice, it almost sounds like someone else is delivering it, but it's because she's so upset.
Yes. It's like when she was like, you miss me? Like just, so good.
Because like, and I really appreciated, I'll give him credit. I fucking hate Nolan, but I will give him credit. I was like, you motherfucker, do not argue back with her at all. Like I was so worried he was going to argue with her, and I was so glad he just like knew to shut up and knew to just like, I mean, he didn't fully shut up, but he like said some things, but he didn't like fight with her. And I was very glad that he was not defensive, because she deserved to be able to scream in his face and get no pushback.
No, exactly. Yeah. And like that's the justice that we weighed in as well. Like just to touch on the comic for a little bit. I think I told you the scene, but like in the comic it's one page and like Debbie
Which
is
is
a lot
wild.
crazy. And it's like she's a lot more like emotional than angry. Like of course she's still angry, but like, and then at the end of that like comic strip, like at one point, like her and Nolan hug. And like it's just a completely different vibe to the show. Like the show did it so much better.
They
And even
hug Jesus.
yeah, they hug in the comic. You're like, what the fuck? It's kind of like a consoling hug from Nolan, but it's at the same time this worked. And like I know, like Debbie like punched his chest, but I love like the distance between her and him, which was like, am I still your pet? Like just
Yeah.
everything, like just so fucking good. So yeah, I'm more intrigued now because I know. So I have hands up. I have finished the comics now. I've finished them all as I text you, Ian. So I know where that storyline's gonna go, but the way it's portrayed in the show. I'm like, oh, I'm more interested here. So like I'm really intrigued like how they're going to navigate through that, what they change in that. I'm like so pumped to see what they're going to do there. But yeah, overall, great show.
I do have a question.
Ah,
Because I know that like you were at one point when you were reading them, maybe when we did the first episode, that
mm.
you were like, "Oh, I'm like on the last one," but you were where we were on the show. So
Yes.
how much longer, like theoretically, if we're just doing the comics, how much longer do you think it could go? Like how many more seasons?
So this is season 4. I think where I had read up to, because I was like starting to like get towards the point where I was like, okay, I'm going to catch up and take over here, which obviously has happened. But like, let's have a think. So we are now really, we could probably have like season 6 or 7, I think.
Okay, so not really that much more.
No,
Okay.
no. I do like this isn't going to be 10 seasons. Like this is, this kind of point really like we are like walking over towards the half like we're kind of over the halfway mark now. And like there's like a few big story beats still to come. And I like Ian and I text about this stuff. I don't give anything away, but I do say like a few things. I'm just like, there's a few notable deaths coming. There's a few big story arcs coming. One in particular that this kind of episode that we're going to talk about leads off with. The kind of what happens in terms of some kind of resolution with that. I think the season might end with that, if I'm honest, and that'll be an interesting place to like leave the season. Because it'll be like, oh damn, what does this mean going forward into the next season?
And
Because
with
think
resolution of the like Viltrumite story, you
yes,
mean?
that's what.
Okay.
Yeah, so like Throg, the Viltrumites, like that. I think they might, if it's going the way I think it's going to go, I think they're going to end the season with that, and that does
Okay.
change the trajectory of the rest of the show. So I'm intrigued to see like if that's going to be the cliffhanger, but we'll see. But yeah, but I will say like I nice ending, really liked it. Left open for if they want to do more. But I really like the end at the end. I just felt warm and like I smiled, which is fucking rare when you're watching Invincible, to be fair. So it was nice to leave off with that note.
Seriously.
Yeah. But overall on this episode though, I mean again, like these two episodes kind of back to back, it's really strong. For me, it kind of reminds me of like the Kill Bill 1 and 2 in many ways. Like there's a lot of action in this scene, like in this one. There was a lot more dramatic, I guess, kind of moments in like the episode prior. But there is still some great dramatic moments. Obviously, you said like Nolan and Oliver, there's some fantastic stuff between them two in this episode, which we'll highlight. But the big thing for me with this episode is we see a lot of heroic wins. And I fucking love that because Invincible, we see Mark getting beaten to death so many times. We see the heroes getting beaten down so many times. It was nice just to enjoy some wins in this episode, you know?
Yes, I talked about that with my students that
Right.
also have been watching it. So I was like, "Can we talk spoilers?" Did y'all? And they were like, "Yes, yes, yes." So we like, I literally spent like the first 10 minutes class talking about
Love that.
Invincible yesterday, um, and like they also agreed. They were like, "Yeah, it was," because like I asked them, I was like, "Have you guys read the comics?" They haven't, so they're on the same
Right.
page as me, where they don't like know what's happening. And I was like, okay, well then were you worried? I was worried one of them was gonna die. I was like, it was nice to see a superhero battle where it was still tense, but no one was being like getting arms torn off or like legs
Right.
snapped in half. And they were like, yeah, that felt like nice and different for the show that the superheroes just got to like. And granted, we do get the scene of Alan when he's like, we won. And then we see there's like a lot of civilian deaths,
Right.
but there have been so much more. Like it's just like
Right.
that. We'll still take the win.
Yeah.
Like,
I know, right? Like at the end, like when they all leave and they're like, okay, they've all left. We know what they're doing. Now we should act on this. We'll take that over like a whole planet being genocided that we've seen like
yeah,
it feels like
like
7 times now.
yes, or like
Jesus
a whole
Christ.
like all of
Civilization.
whatever. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
I know. It's wild. So I'll take the wins and I'll highlight as we go through, I'll highlight the wins that like for me, I was just like, oh, like we texted about a few obviously, Ian, but there will be a few more I highlight. I'm just like, oh, it makes me feel warm to finally see this shit. But yeah, so we open up on Thaddeus, and I actually really like this opening with the two speeches where it's like Thaddeus, the leader of the coalition, doing the speech, and then we have like Throg doing his speech. And I like cutting between them, like the different kind of war slash patriotic
I
speeches. Yeah,
I was a little confused
yeah,
where
yeah, yeah,
the
yeah,
Thaddeus
yeah,
speech sat
yeah,
in the
yeah,
episode because
yeah,
I thought
yeah, yeah,
because
yeah,
like is that
yeah,
what's her
yeah,
name, that
yeah,
Viltrumite girl, the
yeah,
the chick, the one
yeah,
that's like
yeah,
really
yeah. The woman
the
with
one
short,
that put
yeah,
yeah, the short
with
hair,
short
yeah,
hair,
yeah,
yeah, Anissa,
Anissa, right.
yeah,
Yeah.
Like her going
yeah,
up and punching
yeah,
it and it just like
yeah,
fading out. I was like, oh,
yeah,
are they all dead?
yeah,
Is this
yeah,
like later on in
yeah,
the
yeah,
episode? Is this a
yeah,
flashback? So I was a little, because then when
yeah,
we
yeah,
go back to them, they
yeah,
are
yeah,
fine,
Right.
but the ship, they're not
yeah,
on that ship
yeah,
anymore, right?
right. Yeah, it's a good point actually. Yeah,
So I was like a little
yeah,
unclear
yeah,
on that,
yeah,
Hmm.
but I still
yeah,
liked it. But I was just
yeah,
like worried that
yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh, is it going to be a
yeah,
flashback? The
yeah,
rest of the episode's a
yeah,
flashback, but
yeah,
we know that they
yeah,
lose because
yeah,
she like
yeah,
punched through the
right,
ship.
right,
That I was like so
yeah,
waiting for that shoe
yeah,
to drop to be like, well, they
yeah,
seem to be winning a
yeah,
little too much
yeah,
in this
yeah,
show. Like that
right.
doesn't normally happen.
Yeah. But no, you're good point. That's a good point actually. But I'm pleased they didn't do that, and I'm pleased we get to see the fight and see the win.
Yeah,
Because I kind of felt like I would have felt like a cop out again, like another, oh, you think they're gonna do well, and now we're gonna pull the rug out
yeah.
from under you. So it's nice to have this fucking release. But no, I like the way that this was shot going between the two speeches. I thought it worked really well. And I liked like, Thaddeus being like making this really inspiring speech, like we're gonna win, we're gonna take back our people, and then like Throg just being like, yeah, we're gonna kill them. They don't stand a chance, essentially. Yeah, and then what do you think of? I might have asked you this before, but what do you think of Lee Pace as Throg?
I didn't realize it was Lee Pace.
Yeah. He has the voice, the commanding voice where he talks like this all the time.
Yeah, now that you say it, I'm like, okay, yeah, he does kind of sound like Ronan the Accuser, but I did not realize until you just said it that it was Lee Pace.
Yeah, yeah, he's putting his full pacey into that Throg. But I like as well, like, I mean, he is literally Kylo Ren talking to like Darth Vader's helmet, like in this moment, like the way he's talking to the skull all the time. It's like, we will avenge our people for Argyle. And it's like, okay, like, come on.
And that is the person that Thaddeus killed, right? The
Yes,
skull.
yes,
Okay.
correct. Yeah. So in the comic, like the reason why the skull is like broken like that is because Thaddeus like stabbed him into the head, and like that's
Yeah,
why it's
okay.
shattered like that. Yeah. But yes, that is Thaddeus. So that's why he wants revenge on Thaddeus, and that's why he's called the Great Betrayer, which we found out in, was it episode 2? Yeah, I think the flashback with young Nolan when he was training the Viltrumites.
God, was that this season? In my brain, that was
Yeah.
last season. Jesus.
It was like 3 weeks ago, Ian. But
I know, God, I have such a
remember
bad
it's
memory.
listen,
You're
when you
lucky
get
I
to,
remembered that Thaddeus killed the ruler.
you're lucky I remember their names. Um,
I wrote them down.
yeah.
I cheated.
Listen, fair. Whatever's gonna help you, Grandma. But listen, I get it. I get it, Ian. I'm the same.
Rude.
But,
Anyway, sorry.
yes. No, you're all good. But yeah, we get a lot of in this episode. Obviously, we get this lovely arc with Nolan, Oliver, and Mark as well. But like Mark comes into it later on. But I like this start of like the burying of the conquest, like moment, and like Oliver's having none of it, and fucking rightfully so. Like Oliver in this whole episode is not wrong. And I really
No.
like that. Like the whole time, like he is justified in his anger. He's justified in his distance from Nolan. He's justified right here by saying, "What the fuck are you doing?" And Nolan's like, he was a great Viltrumite warrior, and he's like, "I don't give a fuck. He murdered so many people. He
Yeah,
nearly
like,
killed Mark. Do you think this matters anything to me?" He's completely justified in that.
yeah, and it was a little bit, and I said this to you, I think on text, like it reminded me of season 3 of Buffy when Cordelia falls through the staircase and gets impaled, and then they cut to Buffy and Willow walking by a funeral, and it makes you think she's dead.
Right.
Because for 2 seconds, I put these pieces together poorly because I was wrong, but and I don't want to spoil anything, but like because of the stuff I told you that I know that
Yeah.
happens,
Yeah.
Adam, I gotta say, I was like, did I see Mark in the spoilers I've seen older?
Mm,
Like, maybe
yeah,
I haven't. Maybe he is dead. Like, I really was like, this show would be a show that could do that, where it's like,
yeah,
yep, main character's dead. Eve is pregnant, so that'll be the new main character.
right,
And I was like thinking, I was like, I don't know if I ever saw a spoiler that showed me Mark as old. I mean, I might have and just not realized he
right.
was older. But in my brain, I was like, fuck, Mark's dead.
Mhm.
No.
Yeah.
So I was glad that it was not. But to Oliver's point, Adam, I was like, treat this like he's a vampire. Chop off that fucking head, chop off his arms, bury them. Fine, you want to bury them, but bury them separately, like across that planet.
Yeah.
Like,
Honestly, do it. Like, set that man on fire. Like, we don't want anything left of Conquest at all. Like, especially when we saw, like, in this season, well, in the last season when he was supposed to be dead and then, like, woke up and then he burst out of that thing and, like, here he was. Like, that would be me. I'd be like, Ian, hand me that fucking axe. We are taking this guy apart. Like, he is not
and then
living.
like if he's bones, we do what Buffy did with the Master's bones. We just take a hammer and smash them to ash. Like,
Please. Honestly, exactly the same. Take it to the bronze, smash up Conquest. Like,
yep.
this is happening. I love as well the line from Oliver where he's like, people at home hate him almost as much as they hate you. And Oliver has
Uh-huh.
some great lines in this episode, and he just keeps highlighting to Nolan, you ain't getting away with this shit. And like, we'll obviously get to it as well when he talks about like his own mother later on. But I love the fact I just love Oliver in this episode. He's just so justified in his anger, and Nolan fucking deserves. He needs to hear it. He
He does.
needs to hear it from the son that he's neglected.
Yeah, and like I talked about that with my students as well because I was like, oh, I told my friend that we should throw Oliver in a volcano last season. Now I really like him, and they all laughed and they're like, yeah, he was annoying last season, and they all agreed that like Oliver was in the right and he
Yeah.
deserved to get this. And I felt like not only was he correct, but it advanced his character. It made him feel like he was growing up this
Yeah.
episode in particular,
Yes.
which he this season he's been growing and he's been a lot better, but like this felt very mature. Even in his anger, I thought he like it was well articulated. He was
Mhm.
correct.
Yeah.
He wasn't just like screaming. I don't know. I thought they did a lot of character work for Oliver, and I really liked all of it because I didn't even really think about I didn't really think about how it would affect Oliver,
Yeah.
but it makes sense that it would, right? Like, oh,
Right.
you didn't even see me, and I heard you tell Debbie that my mom was a mistake, like, and now
Uh-huh.
she's dead. Like, yeah, I would be furious. Like,
Right, exactly. Like, so is that what you think of me? Am I a mistake? Like,
right.
like, and like the fact that you neglected me all this time and then didn't come to see me further justifies in my mind that you don't care about me, essentially.
Right.
And now I'm
Right.
stuck with you, stuck with someone that doesn't give a fuck about me for months. So of course he's justified why he feels so shitty about
And
it,
my brother, who's like the only one that I like, might be dead in that tent. Like,
Literally. And here we are.
yeah.
And I'm eating this fucking shit that you're feeding me, which I really like, all of that stuff. I do like as well when he's like, I really wish he was boom, like obviously title card as well. That title card is falling to pieces, like literally, it's practically space at this point.
Yeah.
And I think like from what I was telling you earlier about like where this Viltrumite kind of story, I think is what the cliffhanger is going to be, kind of will lead into that title card a little bit, I think. But we'll see what happens anyway.
Usually they do, right? Usually the
Yeah.
title card leads into, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like season one, it got bloodier and bloodier. Like it always kind of makes sense when you follow it that way. Um, I did like all of this, like Nolan, getting the food and like as I said, all of it just being like, I'm not fucking eating that. There's no way. Which rightfully so, it looks like absolute
Look
hell.
gross.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like I'm someone who can't even have sushi, let alone like looking at something like that. I'd be like, no, thank you.
Yeah.
Like absolutely no. Can we at least put that on the fire?
Yeah, at least like burn it so maybe I can't like,
Right.
yeah.
Make it a little crispy or something, but not when it's like sopping. I'm like, no, thank you.
Yeah.
Although I will say, like, speaking of sopping, when fucking Oliver is like squeezing that into Mark's mouth, I was like, that looks like a flaccid dick and balls. I'm sorry, but it looks exactly like that. And I'm like, what are we doing?
I actually was like, am I a pro like what? Like
Both myself and my husband were watching, we were both like, are we seeing this right now? Like,
I
so
was not gonna say it, so I'm glad you did because
listen.
my perverted brain, I was like, all right, maybe I'm the problem here.
No, no, but listen, we're going to bring up our truth. We're going to speak our truth, Ian. We all saw it. It was right there. We've all been gunning for Mark to be gay this full season. So if this is the stepping stone, let's walk on that stone. But yeah, and that leads into when you were saying like Oliver and Nolan. I like that. Like, to be fair, to Nolan's credit, I do like here when he's like, we should probably train, and I should probably train you. I trained Mark.
Yeah.
It would make sense to train you, and you're gonna need this because hello, we're gonna have a big Viltrumite fight. And like,
And Nolan is a perfect person to do training because he actually is really good at that. Right.
Really, really good at that. Knows the Viltrumites better than anyone. Like, knows their weaknesses, knows everything. And plus, like, there's 2 times now then when like Oliver's went to fight Conquest and he's nearly killed him. Like either pulling him apart, squishing his head. So it's like, let's do this. But I love that when he turns around and he just shoves Nolan and then just lets loose when he's like, everything he says with like, as you said, you didn't care about like Andressa, like my mom. Like, I heard everything upstairs that you said. Does that mean that I'm a mistake? Do you not care about me? And like, to Nolan's credit, I kind of really love that Nolan didn't try to bullshit his way out of it and was actually just honest and said, look, I'm trying to be a better person, but I actually find this really tough. And it's just like, but I will try for the sake of you. And I actually really appreciated his honesty in that moment.
Yeah, no, I begrudging as it may be, I am coming around. I still think Nolan needs to die, but I'm coming around to like, okay, we work with him because I like trust that he's not gonna kill them all. And I think they're doing a good job of conveying that. And like you said, he's not bullshitting, but he is trying, and we can see both that he's being honest. He is trying, not always landing, but like, I don't know. I mean, for me, there's no forgiveness that can be had, but I'm coming around to like this version of Nolan.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that makes complete sense. Like, this version of Nolan is, as you said, we can't forget everything that he's done, but he is an asset in this fight, and you cannot deny that. So at least he's presenting a version of himself which is a lot more, not agreeable, but you can work alongside. It's like that colleague in work that you don't like, but is really good at their fucking job. It's like that type of thing, So like, he's only an asset to this fight, and they're gonna need him. So like, even Oliver, I think, understands that to a degree, where he's like, yeah, actually, he can train me, which when we see in the montage later on, he like really picks up for that. But I like as well that, when even later on when they talk about their mother, he's like, don't say her name. Do not talk about her.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, we'll get to that later, but like what Oliver is checking with Nolan there is really interesting, but we will get to that. But yeah, I like the Alan and Tech Jacket kind of relationship, like Zoe. I think that's quite fun. Like how they're like, oh, we should really do that. And then just continue playing their game. Which again, straight from the comic, that's really funny.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Are we supposed to be like thinking there's a romantic?
Oh no, not between them. If anything, for me, I got more of the vibes between her and Oliver. Which
is she supposed to be that young?
I think like similar age, like yeah. But again, I know like where a kind of a romance storyline goes with Oliver, and I'm intrigued because they have made Tech Jacket female in this version. She is male in the comics. I'm like, Zach rather than Zoe in the comic. So I'm like, is that being done for a reason? But I don't know. So I'm just intrigued. But I like her presentation in this. I think it works really well. I like her friendship with Alan. I think it works really well as well. And I like all of this. Like, this is the kind of the first hero moment that I love. Like, when obviously they're like, right, the ships are over there. Let's make a run for it. The Viltrumites obviously chase them. Alan's like, just go. I'll like knock them off. He's getting beaten a little bit around. And I love when she's like flying back and Alan's like, oh my God, what the fuck are you doing? And she's like, oh, don't worry, and moves out of the way. And like Space races there and shoots the gun. And like,
felt so good.
Yes. Like, to see one of them get blasted through and then hits the ship behind them as well. First heroic moment, I was like, oh my God, yes, give me more.
Yes. I will say, because I text you this later, where was he the rest of the episode? Because I'm like, I was even thinking about it today, like thinking about this recording. I'm like, why don't you just make that thing bigger and just like fire it at their whole ship and like vaporize every Viltrumite? I get that it's supposed to be one of a kind, but I'm like, I don't know, someone in the science field build a thing to make that blast bigger. Because it felt so good. Because it feels like they can never get a win when it comes to Viltrumites. It feels like there's no winning. There's only like holding the line or pushing back a little bit or dying.
Right.
Like there's no winning. So this, I felt like that was the first moment of confidence. Like, ooh, it was like Buffy in season 7. Like, oh, we're gonna win. Like it was like, oh shit, that gun does do something because Zoe's tech jacket doesn't really do anything. And we were sold on like both of them being so useful. And Zoe, I keep thinking she's gonna die. Like this
Mm.
episode, her and the entire fight, I was like, oh, this poor like girl's gonna get ripped apart and I'm not gonna love
Mm-hmm.
it. And she didn't,
And
which was nice.
right,
But she
thank God.
hasn't done a lot.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, and it's so interesting because like in the comic, like so there is like a standalone Tech Jacket comic if you want to read that as well, but he is in Invincible. But that like armor that was given to her is like alien armor and like basically massive low dump, but we'll make this really quick. Geldarian armor. There's a spaceship crash lands on Earth. He goes to investigate it. The Geldarians then says, "Oh my God, my ship's going to explode. You won't have time to get away. I'm going to put this armor on you. It will protect you." The ship blows up, kills the alien, but he survives. And that like suit of armor like adapts to him. It's like thousands and thousands of years and generations more advanced than anything that's ever been seen. So it's basically like Tony Stark's armor on steroids. It's like incredibly advanced. But yeah, you're right though, Ian. Like we're yet to see like the full capabilities of what it can do. Like, yeah, it can fire its lasers, it can fly around and everything, it can repair itself, which is really handy. But the Viltrumites do know a way to pull it off very quickly, you know?
Because yeah, especially when it was pulled off her, I was like, wait a minute,
Yeah.
isn't this like defeating the purpose of the thing?
Right,
But
exactly.
I mean, I guess she still didn't die, so it did like
Right. Yeah,
whatever.
it did.
Yeah, it feels like sometimes it feels like her armor, the thing it does is make it so they can't fully kill her, but like that's not really that helpful of like I don't know. And
Yeah,
also
yeah.
like I looked up I was like, oh, Zoe Dutch is the voice actor for
Mm.
Zoe. And like her screams, I was like, oh no. Like I like was feeling bad because her screams were so like good. I was like, oh, this like poor girl.
She does give it like a good scream as well, and we know we love a good horror scream, so yeah, she really nailed
Yeah.
it. And rightfully so. I mean, if a Viltrumite was ripping off my like armor, I'd be like, well, I'm fucked.
Yeah.
But but yeah, and then we get a little bit more of Oliver and Nolan. I do love all of this, what I was telling you about. So I really like here that like Nolan, you know, we've talked about kind of his redemption arc, but what I like here is that he is willing to listen and learn from Oliver. And I think this is a
Mhm.
big moment for Nolan in particular. So like obviously they get the conversation where he's like, look, like Mark isn't healing properly. This is after he says, "Don't talk about my mother." He's like, "Oh, Mark isn't healing properly. He needs more protein." They go to that queen like alien's nest, and like Nolan is ready to kill her. He's like, "She's just a bug," and like he literally says, like, you know, like, "Oh, we should just kill her." Oliver, like, that thing is an animal, and I love that Oliver is the one that's like, "No, stop. She's only defending her eggs. She can't lay anymore if we kill her. Plus, she's only like, as he said, she's a mother. She's defending her kids, just like what
Well,
you're doing right now."
and like practically, I feel like even just for taking out the mother aspect, practical wise, he's still right.
He's
Like,
still right. Yeah.
if this is the only thing we can feed Mark, we need more of it to be made, and it's not gonna happen if we kill her.
Right, exactly. But I love as well that like, you know, Nolan does stop. He lets her go and he's
Yeah.
like, he is like, you know what, you're 100% right. You're completely right. And we kind of see that later on. Like there is a moment later on with Nolan when he's like when they are having the big fight and Nolan is the one that says, save as many of these soldiers as you can. Don't wipe them out because when,
Yeah.
you know, they eventually get out of like their
They're
control, we'll need them.
enslaved. Yeah.
Exactly. We'll need them in the fight. That's a big moment for Nolan as well from this, but also if this was season one Nolan, they would have all been fucking dead. Like, no questions asked, you know?
Like, kill everyone, kill yourselves. I'm gonna kill everybody who's here.
We get a quick little scene with Alan and Zoe. They go down, obviously, to the planet, and then we see Battle Beast return. Were you pleased to see Battle Beast back in?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, oh right, because we saw that he was being we knew he was recruited,
Yeah.
right? We already knew
Right.
that,
Totally.
but like I had forgotten until he popped up because we hadn't really seen him
No.
like since.
No, so if you remember the last time we saw him, it's when Alan and Battle Beast were in the prison with Nolan, and Alan bust him out and was like, "Come and help me, Nolan's gonna die." And like go in and basically he saves Nolan. They have that big fight with the Viltrumites, do you remember? And then
Yeah.
Battle Beast like floated off into space fighting a Viltrumite, and then he kind of went into like curled into a ball and went to hibernation. And I think that's when Alan's girlfriend says, "Oh yeah, we found him like floating around in space, and we brought him back in." And I like this again when he's like, Alan, sorry, he's like, well, Battle Beast, we've got some more for you to kill. We're gonna need you. Um, but yes, but Oh, like I will say, like I really like seeing Mark with some facial hair. You know, after some time's gone by, and he's like got this little like bit of fluff on his face.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh damn, Mark.
I liked that it was poorly grown facial hair because that
Yeah.
felt realistic.
Yep.
Because I feel like I know so many guys that that's how it grows, where it's just like a little bit here and then the crustache.
Right, right, yeah. And I like, yeah, yes, you're right. Like it's just like a little bit here, a little fluff here, a little fluff here. It's just all over the place. But this is like the big conversation I was talking about before between like Nolan and Oliver. So obviously, you know, they are seeing right, Mark is starting to heal, time has passed. But I like in this where again he's like, I like as well, and he's like, oh, I actually really like the food now, but that's not what the problem is. And he's
Yeah.
like, look, he's like, I need you to tell me about like what you thought about my mother. He's like, I need you to basically show your hands to me right now, Dad, because everything you've said to me so far hasn't proved to me that you actually had feelings for my mother. Because the last thing I heard you say about her was that, you know, you didn't, she was a mistake, which by
Right.
proxy means that I'm a mistake. And I like that Nolan, you know, does say to her, look, like when I left Earth, I was completely lost the time I had with your mother, it kind of allowed me, when I see how fast their lifespan was and they didn't have time to hold on to grudges and everything like that, it made me appreciate life in a different way. And that was your mother Andressa who made me understand that. And I like that when Oliver hears that, he's like, okay, now I understand like where you're coming from. I understand that you actually did have feelings for her and she did impact your life in a positive way. Tell me about my mother now. And I like that
Yeah.
he waits for Nolan to give him that assurance before he asks him to tell him about the mother. I really like that.
Yeah. No, and I like you said, it didn't read as bullshit. That read as like,
No.
okay, I could see what Nolan like I don't like to defend Nolan, but I could see his point.
Right. Yeah, no, 100%. And like, you know, yeah, it's exactly that. And I think Oliver, this is a nice thing as well that, you know, it's such a crazy scenario that Oliver's in because really he's still really young. But I guess like when kids are in a situation like this, they have to grow up really quickly. And Oliver is growing up really quickly, but as well, like his emotional maturity is like, it's really strong in this episode and really justified. He's
Yeah.
like, okay, I get you now. I can understand. As you said, Ian, you're not bullshitting. You've explained yourself. I don't, you know, I'm not excusing you, but you've explained your position. Let's talk a little bit more. So I really like
Yeah.
that. I like as well the big montage. So like, I like within this as well, we get the conversation when Oliver starts to tell Nolan about when he gets like when he went to the restaurant. He's like, "And I saw this lobster," and they're like, "Give me some tingles." It was
I didn't
really
I was
funny.
I didn't quite understand what he meant by gives me tingles. Like what does that mean?
So remember, Oliver is from a world where like the people look like insects. So when he was trying to say like, oh yeah, like you know, I had friends, but like they never really interested me. And in the comic, like Nolan is asking him about girls, and he's like, and even the girls on Earth, like never really, I just never felt that way. But when I saw this lobster, he's like, it gave me the tingles because that's like more of like the race that he was like born into. So I guess like him looking at the insects that way, like the insect kind of race that his mom was, he's more like, oh okay. Like that's more like doing it for me, which I thought was really funny. Like,
Okay, because
yeah.
I was like, I know I'm a pervert. It can't be that he wanted to fuck that lobster, but it was that he wanted. Okay, great, got
Yeah.
it. I like that
Yeah.
he's like, I still ate it.
Right. Yeah. Still ate that damn thing, but you know, give me a little tingle. Which is a little nod that does make me question about going forward, like where they're gonna go with like the romance kind of stuff with Oliver, because yeah, it goes in an interesting place in the comics. I'm intrigued, like if they are hinting towards something with Tech Jacket, I don't know. But yeah, that's like a little wink and a nod to like people that have read the comic and you know where that's gonna go. Um, Also, yeah, like so we get like the big fight. I like as well that like when Mark wakes up and like he wanders towards the grave and like his initial thoughts are, oh my God, like Nolan
Yeah.
and Oliver are dead. And like the way he starts to break down, he's like, oh my God, I couldn't defend them and everything. And then when he turns around, even like when they see him, he's like, oh my God, like, what happened? Like, did you guys kill Conquest? They're like, no, no, Mark, what the fuck? Like, you strangled them to death. And Mark he's giving like Buffy season 6, episode 1, when she's just woke up from the dead. Like, she doesn't know where she is, what year it is, like, doesn't know anything. It's very much giving
Yeah.
that, you know?
I forget, Adam, why couldn't they leave the planet?
So it's very close to where the Viltrumites were and where the Viltrumite ships are. So they know that if they did try to leave with Mark's body, the Viltrumites would catch up with them. Mark's in such a state where if they caught him, they would tear him apart and kill him. So
Okay.
they knew they were in Viltrumite territory. That's why they couldn't leave. That's why they hid there for like 3 months.
Okay.
Yeah. Um, but yeah. just yeah, like this whole thing with Mark and like him coming back and being like, oh my God. And like for me, this is the kind of like the family unit thing that I like to see again, like just seeing them like Mark look at them and being like, oh my God, Oliver, and like pulling them in for a hug, and then like even Nolan coming over and hugging his sons. Like this is the type of Nolan that I've wanted to see, and this is the shit that I like.
Yeah, and like we barely got that in season one with Nolan because it was like, yeah, he'd be nice to his family, but we always saw him plotting and murdering superheroes. Like,
Right. Yeah, literally. Um, did you okay, so I need to ask you this. So obviously they've been hinting at a mole storyline for a while. Who did you think it was gonna be?
I thought it was Alan's girlfriend. I was positive it was Alan's girlfriend.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And it's interesting because like it presented it like that.
Okay, I was gonna say, was I
Yeah.
like I fully was waiting, even when it was like him and Tech Jacket together. I think I forgot that she was supposed to be younger. But I think I also was able to like be like, oh, maybe there's romance because I just had ruled the girlfriend as a traitor and like
Right.
a non-entity moving forward. Like I just was like, well, she's bad.
Good.
I like that I was wrong. Had we seen that traitor character before?
So briefly. So like
Okay.
you're completely justified if you think this is the first time you see him because we saw him so briefly. It was like a very quick flash of him, like in a previous episode when I think it was like Alan was going to talk to Thaddeus and like walk past them like into the big like meeting hall,
Okay.
but that was it. It was a very quick flash. And to be fair, even in the comic, like it's similar. So like you see them
Okay.
two, they have like a very brief conversation. And then that's kind of it. Whereas, like, obviously now when you see him like drop down the kind of defenses, which allows the Viltrumites to come in, you were like, oh shit, it's him. And that's the same in the comic. It is him in the comic. But
I went back to that because I was like, wait, did he do something that's you're supposed to do? Or because he makes like a face too. And I was
right.
like, but I don't know who that is, so he can't be the traitor, right? Like I like went back to it and I was like, I'm misreading this scene because I've never seen this character before. He can't be the
Nope.
traitor. But no, I was not.
Nope. You read it all right. But you're right though, like the whole show like did lead up to when like Alan's girlfriend gave like a little like side eye in places and like put her head down when things were said, and you were like, oh. And even me watching, I was like, are we doing this? Like, are we changing this? Because that would be interesting. Um, but yeah, no, it was that cheeky little guy. I like that he gets his head blasted later on though, and his friend is like, fuck you, and just boom with the gun. We get the big, huge Avengers Endgame fight here. I thought this was such a spectacle. I thought this was such a great fight. I love seeing what we could. I love seeing like right. We see what Thaddeus can do. All of this, I loved it, Ian. This was like pure Avengers spectacle.
I did not expect Thaddeus to be this much of a badass, and I was glad
Yeah.
that he was.
Mm-hmm.
I knew he was a Viltrumite, but I don't know why in my brain it's like, oh, but he's older, so like
Right.
I don't know, he's not as strong, but like
Mm-hmm.
I guess we don't ever see them weak. It's not like right.
Right.
I don't feel
Right.
like we've seen a weak one, so I guess it doesn't matter if you're older or young. But I did I when the Viltrumites like blast their tower, I was like,
Yeah.
oh Christ, how many of them died? Are they all dead? Like I was
Yeah.
like really bummed that like we got this big because it would not be unlike the show to have this hero moment of everyone being like, we're gonna fight, and then they all
Right.
get blown to pieces.
Yeah.
It was unexpected that none of them died. I was like, oh, all right,
Yeah.
great. We can
All right.
have fun superhero fun.
Yeah, like, all right, great. They can hold their own for a blast, so we're gonna have some type of great fight that we look forward to.
Yes.
But
Yes.
no, I just this was such a great big like hero fight. It was such a spectacle. I loved watching this. As you said, it was great to see like him and what he could do because we hadn't seen that at all. We'd heard about him, but like it was
Right.
great. When he was like, right, okay, like here we go, ripping that shirt open, let's go. Um, I did like yeah, like as you said, like we get that Andressa moment when she not Andressa, Anessa moment when she's like got Tech Jacket and she's like tearing her armor off and she's like literally about to kill her. And then when she gets punched and it's like Mark, Nolan, and Oliver like floating in the sky together. That is such a screenshot. It was so good.
That was almost like the Captain Marvel moment in Endgame, where it's
Yes.
like, oh, finally, someone that can go like punch for punch with the villain
Mm-hmm.
is here, and there's three of them, so great.
Right.
Granted, there are still more Viltrumites, but like, yes, give me more people that can go blow for blow,
Right.
because we've already seen Alan can kind of hold his own with them. He can take the hits, but he
Right.
can't really they've kind of overpowered him every fight he's had with them. He's done a good, better than you or I would do, but still.
I know, absolutely. Yeah, you're right. Like when Alan's paired up with like Nolan, like he's deadly, right? Because like they work together with each
Yeah.
other really well. And obviously we saw in that moment he was, I guess, being like a punching bag for a while to let Jack Jacket get away as far as she could. But yeah, like this, like all of this, to see like Alan fighting, just see all the characters come back and just having a good fight. It was a proper Avengers moment, and I loved it. I loved, as you said, and I text you about this, Ian, like Mark and Oliver, when he looks up, he's like, right, Oliver, follow me. And like they go up and blast through the ship. That is Captain Marvel going through Thanos' ship. Such a great moment. Loved that so much. But the big moment for me, obviously, we see the Viltrumites Throgs, like everyone on me, let's retreat. Like we're going to go back, and like they leave kind of that planet. But oh my God, this was like my moment when, Mark looks up and he's like, ah, shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like obviously the ship's going to come down two pieces, and all of them like one, two, three, like underneath the pieces.
I teared up during that moment. So it was such a nice moment, and like seeing them all come together. And they won the fight, but it was like, oh shit, one last thing. And it was like, no, we all got this. And that was so nice to see.
Finally, because how many times have we seen like, the Guardians of the Globe or like Team or whatever get like their asses whooped? We saw like Rex die. We've seen like, like so many people trying to come together as a team and they've just been shit. So this was nice to like finally see that. And like the way the Invincible like theme swelled and played as they were pushing up as well. I was like, oh, I got misty-eyed.
Yeah.
It was so good.
It was so good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. It really was. And it was like the characters deserved that moment. And like we as the audience deserved that nice moment too.
Yes.
And I also think it showed us, even though I'm like ragging on Tech Jacket for not doing that much because she doesn't, but that they all are like not equal footing, but they're all like a same upper tier of hero. Like you said, then everyone back home who gets their asses handed to them all the time. Like this is like Justice League tier heroes where everyone is super strong. None of them died in this fight. Like it sounds silly because like this is a cartoon universe, superhero universe, but like it gave me hope moving forward with the story.
No, 100%. Like even reading the comic, like this big fight and like the way it plays out, even I was like, oh my God, like it's that Buffy season 7 moment, like we're gonna win. Like it is that feeling 100% here. And it's just nice to celebrate the wins, man. In a show where so many times you're like, oh, Mark's gonna die, oh, Eve's gonna die, oh, someone's gonna die. Just it was nice to celebrate this win and just to sit with it as well. Like I love it wasn't a little moment, it was a big moment we built up to. It was so good. Yeah, I got that highlighted like in my notes, just saying hero moment, best moment ever. Then yeah, straight after they're doing kind of like a rescue mission, like they're going around like trying to find people that are like in the rubble and everything like that. So they're even still being heroes right now. That's when the mole gets shot and he's like, oh yeah, like well, they're still going to win anyway. They're retreating back to Viltrum. That's where they're going. And I like that, like when they look over and like Thaddeus, why are you smiling? He's like, because we've got them on the ropes, basically. Like we need to act right now because they have got no defense. They're on the run. If we go now, we can beat them. And I just, what a great point just to like end on the episode with that beat. Like such a great moment going into the last two episodes.
I still am like, where was Space Racer? Why didn't he just come with that gun and shoot every one of them? Like
literally,
let's get him before we go after them, though. Like let's get him in his little bike and his gun.
Exactly, and that bloody gun, and just pick them all off because he literally could. Like line them all up in a line, shoot one ray all the way through them.
Yeah,
done. Season over, show over. Everyone's good. Imagine that's actually the end, and I was hinting at the whole time. Did you enjoy the after credits fake out about Conquest's grave?
It was rude. I was like, this motherfucker, this is why they should have chopped off his head. I'm so stressed. His hand's gonna pop out. And I was so glad it did not. And I said it to my students too, and one of them was like, I was gonna be so mad if that asshole, oh, sorry. And I was like, no, you're right, he is.
No. If there's ever someone to swear about in class, it's that fucking asshole. Yeah, like even me, like when I saw that, I was like, oh, are we, no, we're not doing this. I was like, are we gonna get a Buffy handout of like the grave? Like, is this gonna happen? So pleased that didn't happen. Pleased that he is done. That is over. We will not see him again. Done. Thank God. But no, I thought it was funny as a fake out, because even like when I was watching it with my friend and colleague who I work with, like she was watching and she was like, no way. Oh, wait, fine. which was so good. And that,
Because like you said, we saw him die last season. So I don't know. That's again why I'm like, no, we need to ground his bones into powder because he just choked him out. He didn't rip his head off. He didn't rip his spine out.
Right. Literally. That we need Buffy Summers with a "what does that do" moment just to blast the fucker away. I know. I thought it was a great little ending there to that, a great little cap to the episode. But yeah, that's brings us to the end of the episode. So Ian, I'm going to ask you, what was your favorite scene, or maybe scenes, because we might have the same, of the whole episode, and then what would you rate it out of 10?
I mean, the hero moment with the ship, just
perfect,
fantastic. And I guess one of my other, I mean, not like a scene per se, but I liked all of the Oliver Nolan stuff.
Yes.
I liked their conversations. I liked seeing them kind of, I don't know, like Oliver grew up and it was really nice to see. And it was nice. He deserved to have that conversation with Nolan. I was glad he got to like spend the time, almost like get to know his dad in a non-threatening way while still being like, I still think you're a dick, but like you said, that coworker that's really good at the job that you don't like, but you know they're going to be able to do the thing. So I really liked that. I mean, it's not a particular scene, but I really, really liked all that. But lifting up the ship is just
iconic. What do you rate it out of 10 this episode?
See, this is the problem because I'm like, oh, 10. And then I'm like, well, but I loved the episode previous. That's a 10. This has to be 9.5 because last episode would be a 10. But then I'm like, well, but it's a fucking 10. But
yep, 9.5. That's what I have in my notes. Yep, exactly. And exactly the same because I said the same thing. The last episode had the Debbie scene, and that scene alone is 10 out of 10. So like, I mean, same. Like, how can you top that heroic scene of like pushing the ship up? That's everything you and I and probably a lot of other people that read this comic and watch the show love in superhero stuff when we see moments like that. Because it makes us feel strong. It makes us feel good, and I loved, it was just perfection. It's like, these are the scenes that, like, I think when the show's over, what would I watch again on YouTube? The Debbie scene I've watched so many times. That scene I would watch again because it's so well done.
Us talking about, I watched it earlier this afternoon, but now I'm like, no, I want to watch it again.
Yeah, no, same. Like, as soon as this is over, I'm going to play that again. Like, sometimes as well, I just listen to the Invincible music because it's also really good. It's like a good theme song.
It is.
Like me walking into work thinking I'm flying in there as Mark. But no, all of the Nolan and all of this stuff, that's the great like character stuff that we talk about from this show from day one, from episode 1, when we've like looked at this show and we talk about how good the character beats are. That is the great like character moments that we love, and like I love as well that in an episode that could have just been focused on the fight, we got time to really just sit with Nolan and Oliver and really work out that relationship. It's not worked out, but to progress that relationship in some meaningful way. And it's great writing. I love that stuff. As you and I have said a million times, Ian, that's the stuff we eat up. But yeah, as you guys, go on.
Oh, no, I was just saying, and it balanced both really well in this episode of like getting that and then getting the like action-packed final act, which was like full of like really good superhero fighting action where I'm like still a little tense because I'm worried someone might die, but no one died. And like, I love the balance. Yeah.
Oh yeah. It was balanced and paced really, really well. And I think as well, it's justified in that, because we sat with Nolan, Oliver, and Mark, especially Mark kind of being out of this episode for a lot of it. And then that moment when they do come back, and one of them does punches Nissa, and then we see the three of them in the sky together. It's like so earned. And then just to go from there onwards, like when they are pushing the ship up together, it's like a build. It's so good. It's so good. But yeah, as you also 9.5 out of 10 as well. I had that written down. It's just a great episode. It's like really, really, I'm pleased that like we got past episode 4 and we're like really building to like some of the best of like the whole series, the whole show. To be honest, this is really top tier stuff. But I am excited going forward. But again, Ian, I want to say a big thank you for coming on, jumping on to do this in your busy schedule to talk Invincible. It's always a pleasure. I always have so much fun talking to you about this show. This is a lot of fun. Please tell everyone where they can find you and your stuff that you got going on the internet.
You can find me at Ian X Carlos on all social media platforms. You can find my podcast, SlayerFest98, at SlayerFestX98. Find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere else you get your podcasts. And My Bloody Judy is at My Bloody Judy everywhere. And same thing, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube.
There you go. So make sure you go and check it all out because it's all worth it and it's all great stuff. So remember, if you want to watch any of the episodes like earlier on, I did show my writing pad to Ian to show I had 9.5 out of 10 written down. If you want to watch any of the episodes, they all are available on YouTube. Just type in last week on podcast Invincible. You will find all the episodes on there to watch. Obviously, it's available on all podcast platforms to listen to as well. Type that in last week on podcast. You'll find us on there. We're available on all social media. Again, type in the same thing. You'll see us on there. If you want to follow me personally, I am at Straughan87 on everything. Type that in. You'll see my face. But thanks again, Ian, for covering this. This is a great episode to come back to. This is kind of like my apology episode after making you sit through episode 4. So I am pleased that this was a good one to bring you back on for.
Thanks for having me. I always love talking the show with you.
Of course, anytime. And yeah, 2 episodes left. Oh my God.
Oh, shit.
I'm really sad. I'm going to watch this episode again to make up for that.
Seriously.
All right, everyone. Until next time, take care.